Hi, this is the beginner Impro.Mandala painting workshop. The first step is to choose the surface. This is a 20 centimeter, 7.87 inches diameter wooden board. I paint the first black color layer base on it. I use a bit more water. After I painted the first layer, I need to sand the wooden board to get a smooth surface. And finally, I can put the finish layer. I use more paint, less water. When the paint is dry, we are ready to draw the guidelines. This is the method for a circle surface to find where is the center point. So let me show you. First, we just draw the exact size on a simple paper. Then I cut around, and you will see we're gonna fold it twice, and then you will see how to find the center. You just put the paper back on the surface, and here it is, the center. Now it's time to draw the guidelines. I just connect two dots to make the first line. And I just bring the compass to be able to draw the next line. I use white water-soluble pencil to draw the guidelines. Here is important to open the compass bigger than the center of the circle. And now I'm just gonna connect the three dots. So I'm gonna get the second guideline. I'm gonna put back the pencil to the compass, and just from the center, let's draw some circles, so they're gonna help us to follow the symmetry. I use Pentat brand, let me show you which one. Lipstick red, magenta, butter, para green and apple green. We are going to use the lipstick red for the center dot. The consistency of the paint needs to be close by the yogurt or warm honey. If it's too thick, you can thin it with a pouring medium or a few drops of water. But be careful with water because it can destroy the quality of the paint. I'm gonna use Color My Soul dotting tools. These are my favorite tools, and I'm gonna tell you what size I'm gonna use when I use them. The center is usually is number 11. It means the diameter of the tool is 11 millimeter. My dots looks nice because I like to layer them. As you can see, I bring more paint than usual, and I use my do-it-yourself swooshing tool to make the paint even in the dot, and when it dries it's going to look gorgeous and just a bit 3D. This technique of drawing a dot can also help you if your paint is too thick. You don't need to thin immediately, but you can play a bit with it, because sometimes my paint is also a bit more like thicker than it's supposed to be. But with this layer and use do-it-yourself tool, I'm able to make it very, very nice. As a next step, I'm going to bring the butter color, and with the do-it-yourself tool, I'm just going to draw tiny dots around this center dot. Now let's use the number 6 tool and put smaller dots around the big center one. Now I bring tool number 1 back to the watercolor, and those tiny places we just fill with tiny watercolor dots. Change the size of the tool, number 2, and we stay with the watercolor, and as you can see, up to we put tiny dots. This can be, for example, a nice center pattern idea when you start a new mandala. With number 8 tool, we bring the magenta color and put bigger dots just above the tiny white ones. Sometimes I like to draw the dots the opposite direction just to make sure that I keep the symmetry. Now I bring a smaller head metallic tool. It's a very common one, I think you also have it. And we are going to work watercolor dots around the bigger magenta ones. First I always put the center dot and use the bigger size of the tool for this. Then work down the dots on both sides a bit, and then switch the tool for a smaller head, and then work it totally down. Try to put the dots enough close to each other. I know when you're a newbie or a beginner it's a bit hard because you can see, but by practice is just going to be so easy to do, but really you need patience and practice to be very confident with the size of the dots. Now we are creating a leaf motif, and the shape of the leaf is really depend on how close you put the dots to each other, and then the center dot is bigger than the others or the same size. So really by time when you draw more and more leaf motif, you will see how you can play with this motif. But in the next months I'm going to create new tutorials about this motif, so it's going to help you a lot. After we finished, we're just gonna start a new butter layer on these leaf motifs. Then we change the color for the lipstick red and just a bit bigger hat tool, and we do the same walking dot down. Then bring the magenta color and just make sure that you always use just a bit bigger tool, so when you look into your motif, it's just going to give this same effect. As the next step, I'm going to fill those tiny places with the tool number 19 and the butter color. Let's bring back the tool number 6 and the butter color and put dots around the design, just as me, follow me. And let me tell you that I really like to use the lighter colors as butter or ivory or white, because these light colors help the others pop up and make the design more bright. Let's bring some excitement with the number 16. It means the diameter of the tool is 16 millimeter. And the peregrine color. We put much bigger dots around the design, which is going to break a bit, put the attention there, and that is cool. Sometimes it's good to switch the sizes of the dots, so the design is going to be more exciting. As you can see, this is a very big dot, so I really need to layer with paint the dot. And of course I'm going to use the do-it-yourself tool what I have to make the paint even, so when it dries it's just going to be very pretty. Let's continue with the tiny metallic tool and the walking dots. Let's make the leaf motif around this peregrine color. Of course, we are going to do it in 2 layers, the butter color just as the previous time with the red and the magenta. It's very important that in the design some element repeat itself, so it also helps the eye to see the design more harmonic. We are ready to bring the 5th color, the last color into this design. That's the apple green, and it's equal with the previous leaf motif as the red. So just walk the dots the same way all around the design with this color. As we are finishing with this apple green layer, we are ready to bring back the parrot green and just finish this leaf motif, this greenish leaf motif all around the design. Now we are bringing the tool number 12, and between the big leaf motifs and on top of the leaf motifs we are going to draw dots with the butter color. As you can see, it's repeating within the design, just like those tinier dots below the green leaves. Now I'm bringing back the tiny metallic tool and just walk the dots around these butter color dots. First in one layer, and then we will see what is going to happen. So yes, let's put the second butter layer around these leaf motifs too, because that's the third time when this pattern is repeating within the design. Another twist can come. I'm going to use the lipstick red color as a next working dot layer on the leaf motif, which one is down, and the upper ones on the top of the greens, I'm going to use the apple green color, just the same way, working dot down. This is the next day, so the butter color big dots already dry. It's very important, so dot on dot can come on it. I like to put this dot on the dot, as you can see it's not in the center, but just down. You will see from closer to, which is red color that get a magenta dot on dot. The others, the green ones, are gonna get the parrot green. I'm planning to make a dot on dot tutorial too in the next month, so you will see what kind of dot on dots are possible. I continuously try to invent into new patterns and design elements too, so maybe by that time there's gonna be some new ones, but I really love when the dot on the dot is not in the center. And the final touches are coming into this design. As you can see, I try to keep the harmony, so I put a magenta color where the magenta line is building up with the leaf motif. And as you can see, next to it where there is the green line outwards, I'm gonna put the green dot on the watercolor dot. So this is how you keep the harmony within a design. It's a very smart way to finish it, and I'm gonna come just closer into the center and put tiny different color dots in the design. So this is how I finish it. This is, I think, a beginner level dotting pattern. So I hope you see what I try to follow and how it's building outwards, and then when the layers are drying, I just come back to the center and finish with very tiny final touches. This is the final result for this design. I hope you really enjoy the process and yours looks similar. So many more is going to follow. Thank you so much for being with me. Have a wonderful day.